let's quickly go to the next item. That is the review for the Mourning Birds, one of the books to be launched today. This is going to be done by our research fellow, who is currently a research fellow at African Studies, University of Ghana, Legon, and his research spans in areas like religion and politics as well as security. This gentleman holds a lot of degrees, but one of the special degrees he had was from the Middle East Technical University in Ankara, and he also has a lot when it comes to security to deliver to us. So sometimes, as I told you, if you want to know this gentleman, after the program, after he does this, when you speak to him, you see how deep he is. Ladies and gentlemen, with a round of applause, let's welcome our Dr. Ahmed Mustapha Badawi. A round of applause. He will be doing the Mourning Birds.
Thank you very much, Mr. MC. Alhamdulillahi Rabbil Alameen. Wassalatu wassalamu ala Rasulillahi wa ala alihi wa sahbihi wa sallam tasliman kathira. I will first of all acknowledge the chair, Madam Chair, and our guest speaker, and all other special guests. I would like to first of all start by congratulating my sister, the author, for achieving this feat. Writing 5 solid books for children in her name is no mean an achievement, and I congratulate her on that. Let's give her a round of applause. As most of us here, I also personally look forward to more books from her, and not just more books, but to see the books digitized and incorporated in most of the English language teaching and learning materials, not only in Ghana, but across the globe. And I think that I can see a lot of potential. I have been privileged to have handled some other readers in other contexts, and some of them do not have the message that I have seen in at least the book I have reviewed. And we really need to encourage our sister to move on. I have a very straightforward task today, which is to review one of the books, as the MC has indicated, The Mourning Birds. And interestingly, I'm supposed to do that in a few minutes, and I'll try to do just that, because if we are going to review the book in details, I think we will spend the whole day here, but I'll try to just do it as brief as possible. And I think that's good. Alhaji Irbad has been so generous to give you so much information. I wouldn't do that. You'll finish off by buying the book and finishing it home, so that I'll give you some gist here and there. Yeah, so I was thinking about how easily to do this, and I came out with a way to, first of all, look at the title of the book, then look at the content of the book within the context of some basic literary pieces. Now, when you look at the title of the book, The Mourning Birds, it has succeeded in attracting the attention of young and conditioned mind in many ways. Now, if a young reader whose vocabulary is not there reads the title, what may come to mind is the surprise with respect to the different spelling this particular mourning has. Because this particular mourning actually has a U, and which will be a very curious thing for the young mind to question. Because I know the morning as in sunrise without you, but how come there is you in this one? And I think this will be an interesting entry point for any adult nearby, whether parents or teacher, to sort of engage such a kid with issues regarding homophones and words and all that. Another aspect of the title, interestingly, is the fact that if you read the title for a young reader whose vocabulary is a bit up, is to think about the fact that the mourning birds, is it about a kind of taxonomy in ornithology about birds that the book is going to talk about? Is it classification of bird? Or in ordinary day-to-day setting, is it that the book is telling us birds actually mourn? You know? So in a nutshell, when we look at the title of the book, it has succeeded using very few words to attract the attention of the reader, I mean young minds in many ways. Of course, perhaps adults as well. And this is really a great thing, I think, with respect to the title. Now, quickly on the content within some basic elements of literary piece, I would like to start with the plot. And as I said, I wouldn't give everything, but I'll just try to give some, bits and pieces. Now, the few introductory sentences did not only succeed in introducing the plot, but also succeeded in at once leading the reader to a beautiful setting of the story and introducing the main character. It also succeeded in uplifting the mood of the reader in a very positive way through a very skillful combination of nature, kindness, and love. Apart from the fact that the rising action of the story in terms of introducing angry Joanna, you will find out who that is in the story, and kind Mama Tessie, which is superbly done, it was interesting for me as a reader to realize later in the story that the author was in fact actually nurturing these characters to fully evolve as antagonists and protagonists going forward in the story. The climax of the story, as if by coincidence, appeared to have been intentionally matched with Mary in the Sky. I don't know if you have ever seen a Mary in the Sky, so the book will tell you how come Mary is in the sky. And the real pain, which my sister who reviewed the book earlier mentioned about the pain aspect. As both chapters matches the spike of a climax in the story and succeeds in making the reader wonder what really comes next. Now, in between the falling action of the story and the resolution, which is the end of the story, is full of mysteries, beauty, intrigue, determination, perseverance, and hope. This is just a gist of the plot, as I mentioned. To make a complete sense of all that I've said, you need to go home with not just one copy, but copies of the book. Now, I would like to briefly talk about characters and conflicts in the story. The characterization in the story is well crafted and very well thought out to carefully integrate well the conflict in the story. Now, the conflicting actions of Mary, the main character, Mama Tessie, her mother, and others on the one side, and that of angry Auntie Joanna, is intentionally set against each other to imbibe in young minds who will engage with this story some valuable universal core values. And this actually leads me to the themes and seams of the story. Now, the story has countless themes, but one thing that connects the themes is, interestingly, it's not surprising actually, because if you look at the background of the author, it tells, because the writing of an author actually tells you something about the background. Now, let me just give you a gist of some of the themes you are to encounter in the story. Now, the importance of education, which has been highlighted by previous reviewers. This was a theme that ran through the story. Caring for orphans, kindness towards parents, kindness towards animals, feeding the hungry, forgiveness, and many more. And the interesting thing about this is that, especially for Muslim parents and Islamic schools, I think that these themes can be used to be integrated with the verses and ahadith that highlight these core values. In a nutshell, from the very first sentence of the book to the very last, there isn't a boring moment, which is very important for every story to be successful. Now, there is this supposedly amateurish speech given by Mary, the main character in the speech, which ordinarily should be boring, but even that is not boring. I am very privileged to have reviewed the book, and I highly recommend it to parents and our institutions to add it to their reading list, and especially as a reading list, I'll be glad to support with respect to how to infuse it in the classroom setting. Thank you very much. Wassalamu alaikum warahmatullah.
Thank you very much. A round of applause one more time. A quick correction. He actually had his PhD at the University of Middle East and Middle East Technical University. That is where he had the PhD rather. So earlier I said his degree, instead of making it well, mention it exactly. His PhD, that's where he got it. But I'm sure he has said it all, and we are all gathered here for these books. And I'm sure when it's time for us to actually do the we will make sure every parent grabs more than one copy. He says, don't buy one, go for more than 10 so you can share with others.
HAFIZ TV, unique every day.